Hi, Corey.
Hi. Starting the recording.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to World 101 Podcast. I am your host with the most, the chocolate thunder with wonder, Mr. Eddie V. Joining me, our other co-host, is Mr. Corey Dibby. He's our cool, sexy, and sweet cornbread.
I don't know what to say to that. I'll take it, though.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Our red velvet cake, the luscious Mr. Never Giver is not able to make it tonight. Everybody, he is taking a good rest, enjoying his weekend. So it's just me and Corey for tonight, talking about random things in games. We know that San Diego Comic-Con has just happened this weekend, but I didn't see none of the trailers for any of the movies that's coming out. So,
let me tell you what I'm excited for, Ed. They released the posters for Infinity War, which, okay, Marvel movie, whatever, I don't care. But the one thing I'm super excited for, I keep looking at you because you're on this screen, but my webcam's up here. So, sorry. The one thing I'm super excited for is that it looks like they're doing a small hint at a Captain America Nomad storyline, because they showed him on one of the posters with his the black suit and the dark hair and the beard, which got me like freaking out a little bit. Like I like some of the Marvel movies, they're fine, like whatever. I'm not like really big into superheroes. My whole thing when I was growing up in terms of superheroes was the X-Men. But Captain America as Nomad, and they doing the Secret Avengers storyline inside this Infinity War movie.
Yes.
Oh, dude, it got me really excited. And they had Black Widow with her white hair instead of her red hair, and Falcon had his black suit on, and like, oh, it was just.
Now, is this supposed to take place like further in the Marvel universe? With this movie, I know it's the final movie, but like, it's just like further on, like.
Yeah, well, it takes place after all of them, and that there, and one more with the current roster of Avengers, and then like they're doing Infinity War, and then they're doing a fourth Avengers movie, which is going to kind of be the end of the Avengers as we know it, like Thor and Captain America and Iron Man and probably Black Widow and stuff like that. So like that's why it was such a big deal for Marvel to get Spider-Man back, so they could have a strong presence of a character that somebody knows,
right?
Heading into like this new set of Avengers, which will be like Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Hulk will probably still be around, Scarlet Witch, maybe Vision, Black Panther. So it looks like, I mean, they're continuing the Avengers storyline. They're just, kind of rotating out the old guard with some new characters.
Because I thought the Infinity Wars, I thought that was going to be the last Avengers movie.
Well, they were originally going to do Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. It was supposed to be 2 movies, but then they decided to not call the fourth movie Infinity War Part 2. They're having a new name for it, which is probably going to revolve around the Infinity Gauntlet somehow. Like the Infinity War is how Thanos gets all the stones for the Gauntlet, and then the fourth movie will probably be about the Gauntlet itself. I don't know. That's something we'd have to ask a friend of all of ours, Todd Oxtra, because he's the comic nerd.
The comic guru.
Even Charlie probably would know more than Todd. Maybe, I don't know. They're the comic Secret Friends Unite podcast. If you don't listen to them already, you should. It's good.
Yes. I don't want to listen to. They did a Spider-Man Homecoming episode, and I can't listen to it because I haven't seen the movie yet.
I'm Spider-Man spoiler cast, and like I don't really care about Spider-Man. I don't like that's gonna break Charlie's heart because Spider-Man's his favorite. I mean, he's been going on for like months. It feels like about he's reading every Spider-Man comic book ever or something like ridiculous like that. But like, and I understand that's his like favorite character and that's cool. But like, I don't have any affinity for Spider-Man. I just don't care.
You know, when it comes to favorite characters in the Marvel universe, number one for me, and it used to be Wolverine, but I changed it up. I love the Punisher.
Yeah, the Punisher's cool.
And I know
did you see it. You didn't watch the Defenders trailer, did you?
No, I haven't watched none of
Netflix.
No, I haven't watched. I did watch the Defenders trailer, but I gotta rewatch it. Because I just do it on, looked at it and just like, well, okay, I'm like, that looks cool. It didn't just went about my biz, but like to have a discussion about it, I would have to rewatch it.
Like, I don't know, some of the movies lately just haven't done anything for me. Like, I really like the X-Men movies. Like they really suck at adapting the comic books to those movies. Yeah. But Logan was pretty good. Like
I need to buy that one and watch it. I haven't watched Logan yet.
I don't think it's as great as everybody says it is, but I mean that's just me. I know that a lot of the movies that people like are just some movies that I don't care for. Like, but I like the X-Men movies a lot. Let's see what else. Where was I going? Oh, I like in terms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I like the Captain America movies a lot. Those are probably my favorite set of movies.
Yeah.
You know, Iron Man 1 was really good, but 2 and 3 didn't really do anything for me. Doctor Strange, I thought, was just hot garbage. I hated every minute of that movie.
I didn't watch none of that. I haven't.
But like I didn't really like. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy, but like again, like I was in no hurry to go see the second one. I still haven't seen the second one. I haven't seen the new Spider-Man.
2 was good. I actually like 2. Yeah, like I said, Spider-Man. Not just having one. Like even I know Wonder Woman. I didn't get a chance to go out and see. I just didn't plan to like really go and see movies. The new Valerian, that sci-fi movie, I do want to see it. I want to see the colors and the cinematography of it. I'm not really worried about the story or something. I want to see how this movie was shot. But go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry.
I'm really excited because like I wanted them to do a Secret Avengers movie, and it looks like they're tying that a little bit into Infinity Wars, which is like kind of disappointing but also exciting at the same time because I would have really loved to see a whole movie of them fleshing Avengers and like, you know, what happened after Civil War? Where did Captain America go with his team? Like, what were they doing? And then for them to come into Infinity, like coming back as a team to take on Thanos, but like, you know, it's cool that they're doing that nod, and like I just love the version. He's just cool. Like he's a man without a country is pretty much what the thing is, and like after Civil War, he went out and like started doing his own missions and doing what he thought was the right thing to do, and you know that whole Secret Avengers thing was like really cool, but yeah, I don't know. But
it's weird, kind of when it comes to the Marvel movies, because I think the Marvel movies are like just like fun, not B movie material, not like B rated, but they're just like fun movies that, you know, some people could do them good. Some of the writing and action is really good. Like Captain America: Civil War, I think is from fighting and choreograph perspective, I think that's a really good Civil War is a really good one.
Yeah.
But in terms of
scene?
yeah, but actually in terms of of a movie of the Marvel movies being shot and just like balls to the walls crazy that I feel like it feels original in a sense, of course, is Punisher Warzone. I think everything in that movie is phenomenal. From the lighting, the characters, the fight scenes, the gun battles, like all of that choreographed, just everything about it. I know people don't like that movie, but every time I watch it, I just smile and I just enjoy everything. Like there are, like it's shot beautifully. The color is like used with the lighting, just used so right. Um, it's just some good comedy, and it's just like I love the Punisher in there. Like the Punisher that's on Netflix show, he's okay, but I'm just like, you. The Punisher has to be tall, and he got to be kind of beefy and like a little bit broken down. That's how I think of the Punisher, and he looks like. I know he's from The Walking Dead and stuff, but I'm just like, you don't fit the Punisher for some unknown reason. Like I could put you in a cop's outfit in the same thing and throw you in a cop drama, and that's how you are. Like I want to see some crazy gun battles, some crazy like insane story. It has something that feels fresh, and I think Punisher Warzone does that. Now, of course, my good friend Anthony Cantu, he disagrees with me, but I'm like, when it comes to the Marvel movies, like even the Wolverine is a really good one. I really prefer that movie over the first Wolverine movie. Like I loved how it looks. I love some of the fight scenes. The lighting, the cinematography is just perfect. Like I really love the Wolverine. Like when I brought it, I was rewatching it almost not every day, but like every other day.
You're talking about the Japanese one, right? The
Yes.
one where he goes to Japan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one was really good, and I haven't seen Logan yet, like I said. But every time I look at it, I be like, I love this. I really do. But of course, me being much of a DC person, I enjoy Suicide Squad. I enjoy Batman vs Superman. I like the reboot of Superman. I really loved that one. That was my movie of the year when it first came out, and I'm like, this is really good. And some people might say, no, Eddie, why do you like garbage movies like that? But I was just like, there's something about this. Something about them shooting it has more of a sophistication to it. Like the look and some of the presentation, it feels like it is a comic kind of movie, but it has more serious tone to it. And it's just like, I'm loving everything that's in this, and it works. Where I feel like the Marvel movies sometimes feels like they feel different than DC, and so it's kind of funny and like it's action oriented, but it's just like you could take the kids and the kids can enjoy it. I don't feel like you could, if you take a kid to some of the DC movies, they won't really get the tone of that movie. And that's kind of how I could tell the difference between them. And I think that's why I like more of the DC movies over the Marvel movies. And don't get me wrong, the Marvel movies are great. They do. The comic book movies are always going to do a bunch of money. Some haven't, but I'm more of a DC guy, and me and Todd Oxford we'll have that discussion one day about that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, just before we get into games, because I know that World War I doesn't exactly spell out comic books, but like for me, like for what I like in a movie and for what I like, what I go to the movies for is action and comedy. And for me, like Deadpool was like the perfect combination of both. And like it's not even that I have a lot of love for the character Deadpool, because like I don't really know anything about Deadpool really, except that he's the character that breaks the fourth wall. Like I never read any Deadpool comics. I never, like, the only things that I know about Deadpool are like I played the game and I enjoyed the game a little bit. But like, the only thing I know about Deadpool is from the first Wolverine movie, which everybody says that's not what Deadpool is, and like after watching the current movie was like, yeah, I get it, like Deadpool's not, but like for what I go to the movies for, like all the action and comedies and the pacing of the movie was just, it was awesome.
Yes,
it was really awesome, and like they kept the story simple, which is what I really liked. Was like, okay, it's a revenge story. His girlfriend was taken by this villain, and he's gonna go kill the villain and get his girlfriend back, and that was awesome. Like the story was really simple, the pacing was really good, the flashbacks, how they told the story through flashbacks was really good, and like the action was awesome, and like that's why I love that movie, and that's why I still think it's probably my number one or two, just based on that. So
yeah, it had to have a comedic tone throughout the whole movie, because that's what Deadpool is really known for. I mean, yeah, he's known for his killing and his powers and all that stuff, but like when you go into a Deadpool comic, like, and you read it, like it has to have that comic tone to it.
Yeah.
Or the comedy tone. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I just thought it was done really well, and like the inside jokes of like they had a small budget and they went to the X-Men mansion and they're like, it's almost like the studio couldn't afford more X-Men. It was just like really funny, and even the teaser, like they showed a little teaser of Deadpool 2. They had like a 10-minute short before Logan.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hilarious. And like the poster that they released of him laying on the front lawn of the X-Men mansion, and he's like surprised nobody's home. Like that's funny to me. So like I don't know. I thought Deadpool was really well done, and like the only other one that I think like really compares for that top spot for me would be like Civil War or Winter Soldier. Like those are the three comic book movies. But anyways,
yeah. I actually went to see Deadpool 3 times. I went with my friend, and then I went with my other friend for a podcast that we were supposed to record, but it didn't come out. And then my other friends wanted to see it, so I was just like, I'll go see it. I think that and actually Fast and the Furious 7 I seen like 3 times. Because other people wanted to see it, so they invited me to go and see it with them. So I went to go see it with them. There is some new movies, some crazy movies that my friends really want to take me. Like, there is I'm not going to see that new Saw movie. I think that series is just garbage. I don't. Oh, goodness.
I don't do horror movies, and I don't do gore. Like I just don't. I just. Ugh.
I mean, I do, but of course, I have the black reaction. And what the black reaction is that we yell at the screen for all the stupid stuff that's being done, whatever race it is, because mostly it's not going to be the black, because us will get killed sometime during the movie. So when we're watching a whole bunch of other people from different races do stupid stuff, we yell at them. And we already know that all of this stuff is planned. So it's not like what we say is going to change anything. And I don't know if it's like in our DNA. It just that black reaction at saying stupid stuff at the movies, at a screen. That's like, this movie was recorded like last year or the last 5 months. And we just yelling at it like we're going to change, like our argument's going to change the outcome of the movie. It's not. But usually when my friends want to go see like horror movies and stuff like that, we'll go and see it. Like I went to go see The Conjuring 2, and I just stood there just like, really good movie, really good horror movie. But then we went to go see Resident Evil 7, that Resident Evil movie. I was ready to fall asleep. I'm like, oh goodness. I mean, this is good, but I wanted to go to bed.
That's funny.
Yeah. I'm starting to watch all different kind of movies, like romantic, drama, comedy, action. Like the Valerian, that's a sci-fi movie. I want to go see that. I know everybody's talking about the Christopher Nolan new movie, Durkin or
Dunkirk.
Oh, Dunkirk. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sound like somebody's last name.
Durkin.
Yeah. I know that's been getting good review, like rave reviews, and a lot of people are going to see it and stuff. I'm gonna try to go and see it, but I'm probably gonna be like, oh, it was an okay movie, and then I'll probably get piled on, just like I did Mad Max Fury Road. Garbage of a movie. But yes, let's get into games. Corey, what have you actually been playing? Now, there is one particular game, everybody, that we have been playing, but you'll have to listen to Arsenal X for that. You can find it on ngrradio.com or on our YouTube page.
Yeah. Well, for me, Splatoon came out on Friday,
yes.
I guess. I played a lot of that. I played the first 2 missions in the campaign, then I got into the multiplayer, and it's still real good. It still plays like Splatoon, and like the one thing that I do want to say is like I really want the dualies dodge roll.
Yes.
Like I want that all the time. Like I just want it all the time, and I can't, and it really frustrates me. But other than that, like it's really cool. I like the changes they made to the upgrade system, where like you can go in, your gear that you want to have leveled up will get more slots, and like you can re-roll the slots at any time as long as you can pay for it. Like I like that, and it's not random like the first game. Like the first game was a little bit random in the stats that you got for your clothes, and like you had to wear certain clothes to add different stats. Well, this time around you can just add stats to you can just pick the ones that you want, and it's really cool, and I really like it. I haven't played that much, so I'm not like at that point yet, but like I've just been watching a lot of videos and things on Splatoon. And the other game I really played this weekend, I did play a lot of Puyo Puyo Tetris too. Like laying in bed, I didn't really feel like doing anything that was super intense or anything, so I just like, man, Puyo Puyo Tetris. Like Tetris is just the game that I have loved to play for like since I got my Game Boy. Tetris is a game that I just like to play just to relax and just like. It's not too intensive, but it's still fun. And I'm like, okay, I know exactly where I'm going to screw up. Like it's going to be around level 8 or 9 when the pieces start falling really fast. Yeah. And like, I just get it. And like, I know when I'm going to mess up. I know. And if I get farther, that's great. But I know like, that's just where I mess up every time. And so like, laying in bed, I know that just playing a couple rounds of Tetris will just calm me down and just get me ready for bed and stuff. But the other thing, which, we're going to talk about a lot at Arsenal X this week, is the Destiny 2 beta. Like, I played through the whole beta as the Titan, and I'm like, okay, I get it. This doesn't really tell anybody what the game is, but it got a lot of people who love Destiny 1 really hyped for the game, and like I like the changes they made to the primary weapons, and the secondary weapons are now kinetic and what's the other one?
Like energy or polar or something?
It's energy, and then the power weapons are they move the shotguns and the sniper rifles to power weapons, which I feel like was a good fit. It's just weird because sniper rifles and shotguns in that game need a separate slot from the grenade launchers, and which is a weapon class they added this time around was grenade launchers. But they need a separate slot for shotguns and snipers from the grenade launchers and the rocket launchers and the machine guns. But they are more powerful. I don't know. It's going to be a weird thing to balance. Because like I really liked how I could have a scout rifle and an assault rifle at the same time.
Yes.
Because those are the two types of weapons I love to use in Destiny 1, and I can never use them at the same time. And then I can roll with a really powerful shotgun, which shotguns are super powerful in this game. Like, holy crap, I was running around playing that new mode Countdown with shotgun. I would hover around that heavy spot, and like, man, those shotguns are powerful.
Quick side note: I was playing as the hunter, and there's one part in the game that they have like a rack of guns that you can get. And this, I guess, like you said, it was a legendary gun because it was yellow or something like that.
Exotic.
Oh, exotic.
Yeah.
Depending on what character you are playing, you'll get a different type of gun.
Right.
So my hunter got like got a pistol.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like an 8-shot. Was weird that I was shooting it a revolver. I was shooting it and it felt like a shotgun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there's two different like pistol classes in Destiny. There's the hand cannons, which are the slower shot but really powerful. Like, I mean, they're hand cannons for a reason. They're super powerful up close, and like you can take someone down in like 2 or 3 shots with it if you get a good aim on them. Like Joey P's my friend who's going to probably do the Destiny show with us once we get everything situated with that.
Okay.
We used to call him Hand Cannon Jesus because he would only use hand cannons no matter what, and he was super good with hand cannons. So this is probably really exciting for him. But the other one, which are like the faster shooting guns with the bigger clip, are the sidearms, and they're just like, some of them are good, some of them aren't. It just depends on your play style. But yeah, the hand cannons and sniper rifles are like the hunter's specialty. Like the perks build around those weapons specifically.
Actually, in the regular Destiny, I barely use shotguns. I mean, like shotguns and the sniper, I barely used because the hand cannon was powerful than both of them. Like, like I couldn't even get like good headshots with the sniper rifle, and I'm just like, okay, this is weird. This is supposed to be powerful, and I'm hitting these dudes in the head, and like this should be a 1-shot kill. Why am I like I had to actually do 3 to 4 shots on them, and it's just like, what the heck is this? Like this gun is powerful than the level that I'm on. So why is it not taking the energy? So hopefully they get that weapon system balanced.
Yeah, I mean balance. They've already said they've made off the beta play, so like that's good. And my other concern before we get off this, because I know we want to kind of like save Destiny for the
show
Arsenal X.
Yeah,
and you know I think I might be on Nerds Gone Platinum this week to talk about it. But you know, the one thing that I hope they balance out is Countdown. I really hope they move it from 1st to 6 to 1st to 4, because if you play a whole round, like if you play a whole game and you're trading back and forth like 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, like that game mode can take like 45 minutes for one match, and that like multiplayer matches, like I understand people want to be in them and pack their stats and stuff, whatever, but like you should be in and out of a game mode in 15 minutes. Like, I'm sorry. And that's why I think Control works so well, is like, you know, you go to a point and your team's supposed to protect a point, but it also funnels people to specific points and allows you to get to the action quicker. Where Countdown, a lot of people are kind of like camping and sniping these areas where the bomb, you're supposed to set the bombs off, and that can lead to some long game time types if everybody's camping and you're just sending like a team of 2 up to the bomb to set off. So I don't know, it'll be interesting, but I hope they do fix that. I really want to fix that. So
yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. Well, like I said, I played the Destiny 2 beta on 1 and PS4. So listen to Arsenal X for that, and I'm also gonna be doing like some thoughts. So that will be a blog, so you guys will be able to check that out on the NGR Radio too. Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I finished the game on PS4. I'm just going back and getting some of the collectibles. I'm like 87% done getting the collectibles. That game is still so good. Just like really, really good. and I might actually revisit Uncharted 4 just so I could get ready for the Lost, the new DLC or the side game I should say, or added. For Wii U, Tokyo Mirage Session, I played a little bit more. And Dragon Quest 8 on my 3DS, I played. But I haven't tried Splatoon 2 yet. I'm still working on getting my Switch. I did get the Cloud amiibo and the Bayonetta 2 amiibo. I got to ask a friend of mine if he could buy them for me and ship it, and I'll pay him back because I need the other Cloud and I need the other Bayonetta. Corrin so much I didn't really like pick up or care for. And I haven't picked up the Splatoon 2 amiibo yet. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. And I'm thinking of jumping into Wolfenstein for PS4. So I get ready for Wolfenstein 2. I do have the New Blood, but I want to finish Wolfenstein first before I get into that. And then I think probably Wednesday, or I'm going to try to play all the way through of the Wolf Among Us. I want to play that game. I got it for PS4. But I want to get ready for number 2 because Telltale announced Batman, The Enemy Within, and the Wolf Among Us Part 2.
Yeah. So. You think any of those will come to Switch? Because there was a rumor a while ago that Batman and Guardians of the Galaxy were going to come to Switch eventually. So I really think that those would be good, travel games, good airplane games, and that's kind of where I want to play them. But I don't know. At the same time, I don't really care about Telltale games all that much.
Can I tell you, they give me a vibe. If it comes to Switch, that gives me a vibe of these games are not only like adventure games, but they feel more of a visual novel. You could put your headphones and be on a trip and get through maybe 2 episodes, or if you got a long flight or delays, you could finish that game in that time amount. And cause I think each episode is about an hour and a half, of gameplay time. So that would be good for people to play it on Switch and, just release the whole season. And I mean, they used to put them out on the Wii. The Back to the Future one, that full game was on Wii. So I would love to see them on Switch. I think Telltale would be crazy not to put those games on Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially something as big as Batman.
Right.
Kids love Batman, and I know they're trying to tell a quote adult story, but it's Batman.
Right.
The kids are gonna play it. So
not many people were feeling Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think if Guardians and Game of Thrones, if all of those came to Switch, people would pick them up. You can still charge the $30 for them or $20 for them, whatever you want to charge it. But throw all 5 episodes up on the Switch as a collection and let people play them.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you could market Guardians of the Galaxy, if you announce it as a physical release, you could announce I know the physical releases for Xbox and PS4 are out, but if you want to get a second wind out of that game, you could put it on sale digitally on Xbox One and PS4, but you could also market it, the physical version for Switch, say now available on Switch, and by the way, it's also out on Blu-ray, so why don't you pick them? You could do that.
Right.
So, I mean that's kind of what I think they're probably going to try to do with Spider-Man for PS4 is try to market it around when either another Spider-Man movie comes out or Infinity War comes out at some point. You market it around a movie that Spider-Man's in, and then there'll be a lot of hype for that character, so people will want to pick up the game or something. So.
Right. And I would kind of like to see Tales of the Borderland on Switch. That would be a good one.
Yeah, they could possibly do all their games at some point. I don't know, maybe you do a Walking Dead 1 and 2, season 1 and 2 together, or not that I really care about those games, but a lot of people like The Walking Dead. You can say you can take it on the go now, or package all 3 of those seasons now that season 3's over,
and sell it for I say sell it for $50. All 3
like
seasons.
3 seasons for $50. That's a good deal. Like those seasons by themselves are what, 25, so you're getting like a season for free pretty much. Like
right.
That's a good deal.
And then shoot, throw in some art book or something, like a special comic book. Yeah.
Package it with like the compendium, the way that the special edition of season, like they had that whole first compendium, which was like the first 100 issues or something. So yeah, there's a lot of things you could do with that.
Yes, I could see that. It's funny. Lady was asking about, can you guys call me and let me know when the Switch is going to come in? I was just like, if they show up, you call and we tell you that we have it, whatever you're doing, you need to leave. She's like, it's like, why is this thing so popular? I was just like, people want to take their gaming on the go. People want to play these games. And I was telling the lady, I'm just like, pretty much anything that comes out for the other 2 systems, people want it on Switch because that's where they want to play that game at. They want to play that full game on the go. And she was just like, every time I look around, every store is sold out. And she's like, I don't feel like going online and spending $400 plus some dollars. I'm like, well then, you just
then
need
you're
to
gonna be waiting.
You're just gonna be waiting until the holiday. I mean,
that's why I got up at like 6 a.m. to go pre-order mine. Right? It's like I was like, I want this thing. I mean, you and I, people know we're huge Nintendo fans, but like, Nintendo's like the only console I buy at launch because it's my favorite consoles, and I'm like, I'm not missing that now. You know, I haven't missed launch since Nintendo 64 for a console.
Right.
So.
Well, you know me, I just wait down the line for it because I'm just like, I know when the new Nintendo system come out, I'll get it sometime. I'm like, I'm not in a rush to get it like at that time of launch or something. But goodness. So we're gonna jump into actually just probably one story. Not gonna be too much of a long show. We talked a lot about some things. Walmart actually put up their pre-order for the Super NES. And some people are kind of upset about that. But I think that was more Walmart than it was Nintendo.
Yeah. So like, what was the deal with that? Like, I went on Walmart to try to do it, and like by the time I got there, they stopped taking pre-orders. So like, you know, I didn't get to because I got to too late because I worked that day. But like, what's the deal? Are they canceling pre-orders or something? Like, are they like canceling them, or they just take a certain amount and then stop?
I really don't know. I think they just put it out there. You know, you go just pre-sale. You know, get a pre-sale, and people were hurrying up because no one else is doing pre-sales. Like Nintendo is not really putting out the pre-sales. So this was more of a Walmart decision than it was a Nintendo decision. Because if Nintendo was going to do pre-sales like that, a lot of stores would have got like they pre-sale cards in order to do it. Because Target didn't get any, Best Buy didn't get any, Toys R Us didn't get any, Meyer probably didn't get any, like other stores didn't get any. So why did Walmart actually put one out? I think it was like the noonday or 1 o'clock, like a couple of days ago, like a Wednesday or Thursday. It was like middle of the day. They just threw it out there, and people just like, hey, Walmart's doing pre-sales, and people were just hopping on it. So, I don't know how that all plays out because I don't know if they're going to be shipping it to people or they actually have to go into that store and buy it. So, and you know, there really wasn't a story about it. It was just all on Twitter about it.
Right.
And, me and a good friend, Josh Brent, Life of Gaming, shout out to him. We actually were talking about it. I know he was just like, this is why he disliked, Nintendo was because of this. And I kind of told him, and I felt, you know, and other people were into it. And we ended up talking about PSVR about that. It was just like, I feel like this was more of a Walmart move than a Nintendo move. Because and then I brought up PSVR when they put that out, you was able to pre-order from different stores. So that was more of a Sony thing, and they sold out of their pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
And I was explaining to Josh, I was just like, only certain stores got a limited quantity of these, but now you guys are saying, well, we're seeing more of it. And I told Josh and some other people, I was just like, there are some stores that are now just getting PSVRs after its initial release. And I told them like Toys R Us got it like kind of almost 6 months after that October release. So,
yeah,
I mean, there was no complaints about PSVR. I think people didn't really care about it, PSVR. Where the Super Nintendo one, it was just like, well, this was more of a Walmart move. And if Walmart made this mistake, and people are getting their stuff canceled, that's going to be more Walmart than it will be on Nintendo.
Right.
So
I don't know. I feel like I wanted to do it. Like, I wanted to pre-order from Walmart, but just to have one and like, and you and I are planning on going to like stand in line at Toys R Us and do it when you come up here, and that's going to be really exciting. But like, a couple of my friends want one, and like, a lot of people that are younger than us have more affinity for Super Nintendo than they do the NES, which, I like the NES and the N64 are my two ones that I had loved growing up because I didn't have a Super Nintendo until a lot later. But like, some of my friends are like really looking for this console, and like I wanted to get one just to have in case somebody couldn't get one, and like, like you did for me for the NES. Like, I couldn't get one and you got me one, and I just like, I love you so much. I just like, But like, and then I got on Walmart and they were like, stop taking the pre-orders. So,
well, it's very weird that when it comes to pre-ordering consoles, a lot of people will be like, well, I'm getting this system, I'm getting that system, and like Nintendo really don't. I guess now they still do pre-orders, but I don't know how this economics have changed, because if you look at PS4 and you look at Xbox One, regardless of whatever you think of those consoles, when they came out, they really didn't sell out. And I know a lot of people just like, well, they had enough supply to meet the demand. I was just like, yeah, but the demand kind of stopped like after the holiday, and the system just, it's like, well, PS4 like it's still selling and Xbox is still selling, but it's never came to a point where those systems are sold out and so hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of what the price point is, like if you did this pre-order, you were able to come in, get your system, and and leave for the day. Well, maybe 3 days later, a whole new shipment comes in, and that second or maybe fifth shipment, that sales for that system start to slow down. Mm-hmm. Where it's just like when Nintendo puts out a product, system wise, you could say from the Wii U that it didn't sell enough, but they disappeared after they got discontinued.
The first couple of weeks the Wii U was, or the first 2 months the Wii U was kind of hard to find, and then like, but that's when like a lot of the hardcore Nintendo or like, people who need to be on top of things scooped them up, but like, then we saw it kind of taper off. And obviously the Wii U didn't sell as well as anything Nintendo's put out, but like, even then the Wii U was still selling out everywhere.
Right. But it ended up becoming like last year. If we talk about Nintendo, it was hard. Okay. So yeah, they started processing, the Wii U, and they were sold out, and parents was coming in asking, where can they buy one? Mm-hmm. Even with the 3DS and 2DS, for that last holiday season, you couldn't find none anywhere in a lot of states. Maybe some used ones you can, but talking to a lot of employees working at various stores and stuff, and talking about how they get their shipment, how their sales for Nintendo stuff been doing. They were just like, we are kind of in the same rut as you, because I tell them where I worked at, and like just having an electronics talk, and all of them were just like, we are in the same boat as you. Every time we get a Nintendo system, it sells out. Like 2DS and 3DS was probably in my area, and even part of Wisconsin, was like the leading system that was mostly hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I barely had people buying PlayStations or Xboxes, and I kind of wondered, would the same thing happen if Nintendo met the supply demand of the Switch? Would there have gotten to a point where maybe a month or two down the line, the Switch is not selling as fast as it used to be?
Right.
Will it ever get to that point?
Well, I think the Switch will get to a point where it's like not selling out, but at the same time, I feel like we've talked about this on Pal Block 1,000 times, where like Nintendo is doing something with the Switch they haven't done with a console in a long time, probably since Super Nintendo, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe even their handhelds at some point. I don't know. I like I do the home console stuff in terms of trying to get everything, but like the Switch has a major game coming out every month for the rest of the year, and probably the first 4 or 5 months of next year. Yes. Like, we just had Splatoon come out July. June had ARMS, July has Splatoon, August has Mario Rabbids, September has Pokken Tournament, and this isn't even including third parties. October has Mario. November it's probably going to be Fire Emblem Warriors, and December is probably going to be Xenoblade. And then you look at the first half of 2018. They have the Yoshi game coming out. They have Kirby. They have Fire Emblem proper. They have what was fourth game that was coming out at the beginning of next year.
Kirby.
Shoot, but I said Kirby, but I mean you get what I'm saying though, yes. Right? Like Nintendo has a strong game coming out every month for like the next 9 months, and that's amazing. And that's not even including like, okay, well, what's the direct in November after Black Friday look like to push the 2018 games? Are they going to say Mario Maker's coming to Switch? Are they going to say Smash Brothers is coming? Are they going to show more Metroid Prime 4? Are they going to show more of that Pokemon game? So like, man, like the Switch has so much coming for it. And plus like have wrestling and basketball on the go. A lot of people want to play Rayman Legends again on the go. Like you have cared less about Zelda when Switch came out. He bought the Switch for freaking Street Fighter 2. We forget that those people exist out there that are like nostalgic, and they're like, oh, I could use a cool looking device that, so yes. Like, I mean, we forget that those people exist too, because we're so gung ho on everything and need to keep up on anything because we're podcasting and writing and doing all these things. But I mean, you even get people sucked in like that, and that's not even mentioning like virtual consoles probably coming at some point, right? Like they have to, right? I mean, that's such a big part of their business. So, yeah, man. And that's the difference between Wii U and Switch is like Wii U had Super Mario Brothers U and Nintendo Land at the beginning, and then nothing until, the following year.
Yeah. And I think with Nintendo, with Wii U being their first like HD system, they weren't prepared for, how much it was going to get, how much effort it was going to go into making those games, to have stuff planned out down the line like that. I think
right. There's that interview with Miyamoto, I think, where like, after Super Mario Brothers U came out, they said, yeah, we weren't prepared to make HD games because they had been working on the Wii for so long.
Right.
And they like Nintendo said, yeah, it's taking us longer because we're still learning how to make HD games. And that was like a year. I think it was that interview happened when Pikmin 3 got delayed for a second time.
Yes.
And they were like, yeah, it's delayed because we are struggling to render HD textures because we aren't used to it. So, you know, and now they have, I mean, now like the Switch, they've obviously mastered it with, you know, Breath of the Wild and, you know, giving us the better version of Mario Kart 8, and Splatoon 2 is awesome. And so.
Right. And I think with PS4, Xbox One, was that even though they had third-party games, I don't think those enough third-party games like sold very well on those systems. And everybody here listen out to what I'm saying. To where there wasn't a big game coming out every month. Ooh, sorry about that. That people were looking forward to, and being ready to buy. You know, where if you look at Switch now, like people are planning to buy that one big major game that's coming out. If you look at PS4, okay, Uncharted 4 is out. Bloodborne is out. That got purchased, you know, even with the delay. Persona 5. What else is there on actually Xbox on PS4 that people are going to wait for to buy? The Last of Us 2. Well, we don't know how that game is even going to look or play. Like they didn't even show that game at E3.
Yeah, I mean it's going to play like a Naughty Dog game. They're going to try their best at telling a good story, and it's going to play like garbage. Like, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Like, I understand that, like, you know, a lot of people feel like The Last of Us is this major stepping stone in storytelling. But Naughty Dog's games, I haven't played a good feeling Naughty Dog game since Jak and Daxter. Like,
agreed.
I think is like garbage, and I think The Last of Us, though better, still plays like a hot piece of trash, especially moving from like a comparable third-person shooter in Gears of War with a cover system and shooting mechanics. I'm not talking about Gears of War is not the same as The Last of Us. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you compare a third-person shooter to a third-person shooter, right? The Last of Us, in all regards, is a third-person shooter with exploratory elements. Am I correct? Gears of War has way better mechanics.
Last of Us is supposed to be a stealth game.
Okay, then we'll look at
that. But that doesn't even
Metal
work.
Gear, then. We'll look at Metal Gear Solid 5 then, right? Metal Gear, like, you can say what you want about how convoluted that story is or anything, but Metal Gear Solid 5 plays very well.
Mm-hmm.
And you compare that to Uncharted, and I mean, you can even look at Tomb Raider. Like, Tomb Raider isn't the best playing game in the world, but it plays a lot better than Uncharted and The Last of Us.
Right. There's something about, well, just going to The Last of Us, is that it's supposed to be a stealth, somewhat action game. And you could say, you know, those elements, you know, play fine or whatever. And it's supposed to be about the story, but I'm just like, there's better stories than this story in The Last of Us. Like, I understand it's trying to go for emotional effect with this story, but guess what? I got a better story in Heavy Rain than I got in The Last of Us. Because it, you know, I understand they tried to set the way they try to set The Last of Us up, like it's a cold open, and then, you know, you get into the game and stuff. But I feel like that game doesn't explain anything in it, in that story. I don't think it explains. I mean, like, how it just feels like, how can just out of the blue something just happens, but none of the animals are affected, but humans are, and now we're all there's just not zombies, but some kind of monster. I'm just like, that doesn't make sense, because if this element had happened, everything should have been affected. You know, there's scientific stuff that people have that some scientists have done on animals that affect the same way as humans. So how come there's something in an animal that doesn't affect them, but it does affect a human?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, and I think out of the Uncharted games, like we said, Uncharted 4, I think it's decent. I think Uncharted 3 is better. I like that one better than in the Uncharted series. But I think 2 is atrocious. I think that game is complete just garbage of a game. And, I played it all the way, finished it and stuff, but I was just like, a lot of this stuff has mostly to deal with the story. So yeah, the gameplay is repetitive, whatever, but the story is completely backwards and non-cynical. So, when a game has a story like that, I'm just like, I can't do this because that's just doesn't bring me happiness and that game and stuff. And some people might get mad, and don't forget, everybody, this is our personal opinions. If you do love Uncharted, if you like The Last of Us, that's great. We can have a discussion about that. No one's truly right, no one's truly wrong. It's whatever you personally like. But just like prior for me and Corey, I love Jak and Daxter. I don't like 2, but the first Jak and Daxter, I 100% it. I thought that was above Crash, above Spyro. I think that was Sony's best mascot playing game. Like I said this. I think it's kind of on the level of a Mario game. Pierre Schneider was actually, he made a tweet about Crash Bandicoot, about the new one, and he was just like, it really makes me appreciate the levels in Mario. And that's huge coming from Pierre Schneider. Now, people might not agree, but Crash sold well, tremendously, but overseas. I haven't heard a peep here in America. I haven't heard not one peep about Crash Bandicoot here in America. Everybody who reported on it in America reported that it's sold overseas.
I don't care about Crash either. Like, I'm sorry. Crash is like, I didn't own a PlayStation until a way after. Like, I didn't own a PlayStation until like 6 months before PlayStation 2 came out, and like, my first two games, 007 Racing and Final Fantasy 9, and it's like, I went back and got Crash, and I'm like, what is this garbage? Like, I'm sorry. Like, and I understand that like people were still trying to figure out 3D platforming at the time, but like, how can people even like this more than Mario 64 or like even Banjo-Kazooie? Like, this is like, how? So
it was a weird time. I think, that was the time where Sony kept changing who their mascot was and what game, like when it comes to 3D platforming games around the N64 PlayStation era, Super Mario 64 is at the top. Nothing's going to outbeat that. Like, you literally played the first level of Mario 64 and it connects. Mm-hmm. It connects. And you're like, okay, yeah, I got this. And you just want to play more. With Crash Bandicoot, you were just like, okay, like some of this jumping is off. Okay, why am I running towards the screen and I can't see anything?
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, why are you running towards the screen when like you can't, like, what you want to see is behind you? Like, if you're gonna make a 3, like, and I know a lot, like, that's just like what, this first or second level where like you're running towards the screen away from the boulder, but like, if you're gonna put obstacles, like, how am I supposed to see the obstacles if I'm running away from this boulder? Like,
right?
I don't know.
Even Super Mario Brothers 3 got it right. Like, the sun is chasing you in the desert. You have to run and jump while going through all these obstacles.
Yeah.
If Mario 3 could get it right, and your 16-bit game can't get it right, I mean, not 16-bit game, sorry about that, your 32-bit game can't get it right, that's a problem. That really is a problem.
Yeah, it's just
It is
whatever.
What it is. But
I mean, it's a 25-year-old game. Who cares at this point? Like, congratulations to all you Crash fans who got your Crash Bandicoot remake. Now, GTFO. Where's my Mario 64 remake? You know, the other day, by the way,
what?
What if they released a Mario All Stars 2 with 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, and 3D World
On Switch?
Yeah,
I'll buy
like
it. I'll buy
like
two
an
copies.
I would
HD,
literally like
Corey, look at me in the screen. I will buy 2 copies the day it comes out. Literally, I will buy 2 copies.
Oh man, I was thinking about that the other day because like I was going through I was going through all my old games and stuff, and I found my sealed copy of Super Mario All Stars for Wii. And I was like, man, what if they come out with Super Mario All Stars? Mario Odyssey assets, but for like Mario 64, Sunshine, 1 and 2, and then I guess you could throw 3D World in there if you really want to. That would just be like, I would probably pay like $80 for that, $100 for that.
Screw that. I was just thinking, I'm like, just throw Link Between Worlds on Switch.
Man, I wonder when they're gonna start, if they're ever gonna start doing that. Like, I mean, we've seen Wii U ports. Like, are they gonna do 3DS ports? Like, we saw that fake Fire Emblem Fates Complete for Switch, and when I saw that, I was so excited. Like, you don't understand how excited I was when I saw that. But then, like, it was pulled down, the box art was fake and everything. But like, Fire Emblem
would be Fire Emblem would be the test from Nintendo if they did it.
Yeah.
But I think Link Between Worlds would be the better test if they did it. I think Link Between Worlds was probably will sell more than Fire Emblem Fates.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I think Zelda would sell more than that, especially with the success of Breath of the Wild. Like, but I don't know if you would want to do that in the same year as Breath of the Wild, especially when you have two, like, splitting up the year with DLC. Maybe that's something you would do next summer if you did do that.
I don't think it would affect Breath of the Wild. I think it would just guarantee more sales.
I do. I think it would affect it just because you don't want 2 major Zelda games coming out in one year.
Well, it wouldn't be major. I mean, because you got Breath of the Wild, that's already dominated and still dominated today. I think people will buy this because they'll be if Nintendo adds a lot of stuff to this game, fix up some textures and stuff, I think it would probably, guarantee more sales and that people will double dip into buying The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Link to the Past. I mean, Link Between Worlds. Like, this is just guaranteeing more sales for that series and more money for Nintendo. It wouldn't affect even Breath of the Wild. There would be no reason. Now, they could throw in maybe amiibo functionality for a Switch. That might be an added bonus. Like, they'll probably add some more stuff. But people will be like, I would love to play this game on the go. But then everybody's going to be like, I want to play this on my big screen. It's like the Super Nintendo or Super Game Boy, almost, in a sense. Like, you're playing those games on Game Boy, but if you want to play them on the big screen, you got to put that in the Super Nintendo. Or, for some people, the GameCube with the Super Game Boy Advance. Like, people would enjoy that. It's just that Link Between Worlds would just be like, it's on Switch with some added functions. People would dive into it. Now, if this guarantees more amiibos to be re-released, people would be like, sure, go ahead and bring it.
Don't get me started on amiibo right now, man. I'm like really trying to hold back from buying these Splatoon ones and like the new ones. Like, I'm really like, I'm really trying to save my money for the Switch games.
Corey,
what?
I got you. You already know I got you.
They're available on Amazon, like, straight up $12. That's $13 I could be putting towards a Switch game,
right?
And like,
but don't forget,
I'm like,
you forget where I work at, and you forget that when there's a sale that goes onto them.
No, I know, but you know how I feel about that. It's just like,
You say that and then you get happy. So
I know. I know, but then like that happiness comes with that, but I feel bad.
No, your
But-
boss.
Oh,
But-
man.
But everybody, that is going to be the show. We thank you guys for listening. You can find more of World 101 podcast at shopengine.com and on NGR Radio. You can also follow us on Twitter at World1_1 podcast on Twitter. And you can email the show at World11 podcast at gmail.com. Corey, you'll go first, and then I'll end with my plugs, and then we'll end the show.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter at Corey Hudson in HD. Corey in HD. You can find me on World 1-1, NGR Radio, Nintendo Power Block, Arsenal X, sometimes Nerds Gone Platinum, and the upcoming Destiny show Vanguard FM. Pending the name, I think there might actually already be a show called Vanguard FM, so I'm playing around with some other names, so don't quote me on that yet. Let's see what else. You can find me on Xbox and PlayStation at Roguespark if you want to play games with me. And I don't know my Switch friend code offhand, but I'll get it there at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys can follow me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode. You can hear my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and also at the Anomalous Radio Network.podbean.com and other podcast apps. You can check me out also at, of course, with World 101 Podcast and NGR Radio. You guys can read my writings there, Nintendo Power Block and Arsenal X. And also listen to our new show, Let's Pod and Play.
Right.
Yes. So, me and Corey and other guests will be, playing different video games, and we'll be podcasting about that game or different topics. So you guys have got to come and join in. We just debuted our first episode last week, where we're playing Tokyo Mirage Session for Wii U. You'll have to see what episode 2 is going to be about. And Corey also did a little bit of a pod and play for Destiny 2 beta. So you guys will be able to check that out also. Actually, it's available now, I believe. I think you put the podcast out in the breakout sessions for that one.
Yeah, I put out the Destiny ones this weekend just because the beta was going on, and some people are at work and can't play. So I broke up the 3 sections of the beta, which are the homecoming mission, which is the first 2 missions of the game, I'm assuming, the inverted spire strike, and the game type countdown, which is the multiplayer stuff. And I showed off the Sentinel Titan, which is the Captain America-esque Titan. So
yes,
it's really cool. I really like the shield. So
you guys could read my other series, The Moment, at skirmishfrost.com. I just posted up Zombies Ate My Neighbors, so do give that guys a read. Optional Opinion, those blogs you can also read at IGN.com under Anime, ENIME. I'm getting ready to do the beauty of video games. I have some great podcasts, people coming on. There's still one more person I have to reach out to about one more topic, but everything else is almost good to go. And just to give everybody heads up, October 6th, you can mark this on your calendar for Optional Opinion. There will be a special episode that this is going to be a first that you guys might really, really enjoy. So do check out that episode when it drops in October. So mark your calendars. But that's going to do it for us. Oh, also check out World 101 Podcast on iTunes and Google Play Music and other podcast apps. So you guys can check that out. Corey, thank you, man. I love you. Larry, when you hear this, hope you have some good rest.
Gosh, Larry, you hack. I'm just kidding. I love you, Larry.
And with that, everybody, we are out. Bye.
Bye.